Yeah, we got lots to say. Now here's Bobby and Matt.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Vernon Davis coming up in just a little bit. I will say that whenever you saw my foot, I'm in a cast right now. I had ankle surgery. And Castle did the most athlete thing ever. He comes up and looks in and sees my toes and goes,
I did.
He goes, you're doing okay. You're doing okay. Those aren't that blue.
Yeah, I've had a foot injury before, and I know that those things can get black and blue and swollen. I just remember my toes being 3 times the size they should. And I'm like, oh, they look all right. They're not all gangrene and like peeling. Mine was like peeling off. How you feeling, by the way? What a gamer you are.
I'm good. The pain medicine messes me up.
Oh, I'm sure.
So I only take it right before I go to bed, which means I wake up and do the morning show and I'm out of it. It what feels like the first half of the morning show. But then as the pain starts to set back in, I get kind of my bearings, thinking and talking, but then the pain is setting in.
Yep.
So it's very much a give take. But I'm fine. I just thought it was hilarious because everybody else who's seen, I have a massive cast on my foot. They've been like, oh, how's it going? And you walk in and go, let me see your toes.
Let me see your toes, buddy.
And you're like, all right, but you're good, big boy.
Yeah, they look pretty good. Yeah. It looks pretty good. So the pain's been pretty substantial?
No, it's just constant.
You just have no blood flow down to that area, man.
I actually am very grateful that it doesn't hurt worse. But it's like, you have a toothache or an earache, and it's not that it has to be killing you.
No, it just doesn't go away.
It just doesn't. Yeah, it doesn't go away. But I'm good. Yeah, you've had to actually play with injuries. Me, I'm playing, but I'm talking. Like if you have a foot injury or a hand injury, that's got to be the worst as a quarterback, right?
Oh, it's the worst. I mean, I had 2 hand surgeries, and both of them put me on IR for a little bit. Actually, the first one did because I spiral fractured my. I don't know what bone this is, but I still have screws in there. You can kind of see them come up right there.
Oh, you can, yeah.
So I get back in the huddle, and my finger is literally stuck behind my middle finger. So it was on a 3rd down, get tackled by Doomerville from Denver, but I just landed funny, and I got up, and my finger was stuck, and I was like, all right, it's 4th down. We're going to go for it. It's later in the game, so we should go for it. I get the ball, and I can't move my index finger, which is the most important finger on the ball. And we run like these crossing routes thinking it's going to be man. Of course, they go zone, so I scramble up. I don't get the first down. Everybody's yelling at me on the sideline, just throw the ball. I was like, there was nobody open, number one. Number two, I don't know where the ball would have gone if I tried to throw it. So I get over the sideline. I tell Brody Croyle, I'm like, hey, bud, will you get the doc? So he goes, gets him, and he goes, what's going on? I was like, well, my finger won't move, and I can't seem to separate it. He's like, well, where's it hurt? I was like, right here. And he starts going, and I was like, yeah, it hurts a little bit. And he goes, well, can you throw? I was like, no, I wouldn't have got you over here if I could throw the ball. He's like, let's go in and score spiral fracture. The other one was I hit a helmet, dislocated my thumb. They had to go put it back into place and put pins in there for 9 weeks. But that was at least before season. It just, you never got the full strength back because even doing this early on was brutal.
I feel like that hitting the helmet when throwing for a quarterback is like the most unfortunate injury.
Oh, yeah.
Because there's really not a lot you can do. It just kind of accidentally happens.
It accidentally happens. And I've done it. I've have stitches on 3 different knuckles here just from hitting a helmet. Luckily, I didn't break anything, but there was just one time we were actually in spring ball. We're in shells. Jarrell Casey's rushing Taylor Lewan and gets pushed back in my lap. I throw the ball and just hit the top of his helmet, and immediately this thing pops out of joint.
And you knew right then?
Immediately, because I looked at my thumb. I go, that's not good. And you're kind of in shock a little bit. And they said, do you want us to pop it? And I was like, no, not yet. I want to go to the hospital, get some medicine and numb it up. And so I went in and they popped it back in, but they obviously, because it tears out all the, I don't know if it's cartilage, ligament, whatever it is. And so they had to go up to pin it. And that was wonderful.
Yeah, it sucks.
It sucks, dude. And there's nothing worse than foot and hand injuries because it just throbs.
That's what I'm dealing with now, just constant throbbing.
Do you have any ice machine or anything that you get to wrap that bad boy up in?
So I can't put ice on it. So what the doctor has me doing is putting ice like on my knee as close to it as possible.
Never heard of that before in my life.
Me either.
At least your knee's not going to be swollen.
It's not. I'm good.
Everything else is wrapped up. It looks like it is in a parka here.
I feel like I'm good. I'm just dealing with it. I just thought I would be better by now, even though we're 4 days out of it. I really thought I'd be back on my feet by now.
Really? What was the expectation going in?
The expectation was the doctor said you'll spend about a week and a half in a hard cast. And then if you have moved past that, we'll put you in a walking boot. And I know we're 4 days in, but I'm usually ahead of the curve.
Yeah, because you're a healer.
So I just thought, I would be there.
You're ready to get back out there, and you're not.
I'm drinking a little drink here.
I saw that.
I don't drink coffee.
What is that?
But what I have to do is stay awake because my sleep schedule is so jacked up from this injury, and I'm taking pain medicine to go to sleep. If I fall asleep and take a nap in the middle of the day,
you're done for.
I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm taking pain medicine, then I'm awake on pain medicine.
Yeah.
So this is some sort of espresso shot.
Yeah.
It's like the most European feminine coffee drink you can have.
If it has caffeine in it, I'm in.
So this is what I'm having. It's like a cinnamon tonic espresso shot.
Okay, that's not what I expected.
Yeah.
I thought you meant like it was an espresso shot. No, it's a cinnamon tonic.
Yeah.
Yeah, with elderberry.
Absolutely.
Elderberry flower in it.
I've taken everything masculine out of it and tried to water it down. And I don't drink coffee. Like I never even tasted coffee until like 5 or 6 years ago.
Like 5 hours ago when you made that?
Oh, it's tough. I ordered this.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
They actually serve it in that cup?
Yeah. In this little feminine cup. And I drink it with my pinky up like this.
Yep, you sure do.
What is your coffee drink in the morning?
I usually am a black coffee guy, and I'll put cayenne pepper in it and a dab of salt.
You're
and
out of your mind. You're lying.
I swear to God.
That's like what you say if you want to have the most masculine drink ever.
No,
You're
I
lying.
do that because they say it helps with blood circulation. So
He's like,
I put a little
I
cayenne
shave off
pepper
my
in it.
pubes. I put it in it. I drink it.
No, if you're masculine, you don't shave your pubes. You just leave it all there for it to just fester.
Wait,
Let's go.
tell me about your drink again. It's black coffee.
Black coffee, and then I put cayenne pepper in it, a dab of cayenne pepper, and a little salt to kill the acidity, and then drink that bad boy down, and probably will have 2 of them.
Doesn't that seem like what you would say if you were trying to prove a point by having the most masculine coffee ever, Kevin?
Absolutely. I've never even heard of it.
I thought he was joking.
You're welcome. You're welcome, you guys.
He was like, I'll pour some car battery,
about
car
all the
battery
benefits,
acid in it.
all the benefits of cayenne pepper. There's a lot of it. It's all about blood
Oh, I
circulation.
believe you.
Yes.
I thought you were just...
No, I'm being dead serious.
There's a TikTok I saw yesterday where these guys are going to a coffee shop, and it's 2 like big bearded masculine men, and they go in and they're like, we'll take 2 of your blackest coffees. And she's like, okay. And they say this out loud, and they hand her a note. And on the note, it's like 11 things to add.
Squirt of vanilla.
They're like, please keep this quiet. I thought it was
so
pretty
good.
funny. Yeah.
It was pretty funny. The other day, I get a text message from my brother-in-law. It's my wife's brother, obviously, brother-in-law. And he goes, hey, Cass, who do you think could throw better spiral, Bobby or me? And it was the most random text. He must have seen when we were going through the video of us going through our grips. And I was like, I've seen you throw a football, and there has not been one point in all the years that we've gone out and thrown the football, because he used to catch routes for me in the off season. Like I used to bring friends out, that I've ever seen you throw a consistent spiral. So I'm going to go with Bobby, even though I haven't seen him throw. And I've also seen his grip, which looks like a pretty fair grip. So I'm going to go with Bobby. He's like, dude, I've been in the backyard ripping it. He's like, I've been in the backyard ripping it. You wouldn't even believe what I've got going on right now. And I started laughing. I go, dude, Nerf footballs don't count. So I definitely, I went with you after the grip discussion for sure.
I don't even feel like you picked me because of anything I did. I feel like you just didn't pick him because you played with him.
No, I've actually seen him throw a football. And so the kid, it was phenomenal. 4-year starter at USC as a setter on the volleyball team. But when you give him a football in his hand, I mean, he just can't turn that ball over to save his life.
Could he catch?
He could catch. But early on, I would throw I'd have him throw like run a slant, and I'd throw it to him, and he'd take it right off the chest. And he'd
body shot it?
Yeah. And he was one of those guys that was always really fit, so he'd run routes without his shirt on, just red marks all over him, all over himself. But I appreciated it.
One of the games this weekend, and you say that, there was a game where it was very rainy. I didn't put this on my notes. Was the Jets game super rainy? There was a body pass a guy tried to catch off his body, and he ended up dropping the ball because it was raining so hard.
Right.
Was that ever like an unspoken with your tight ends or wide receivers, like try to keep it near my body if it's raining so I can use my body to catch it?
Yeah, a lot of times those guys are not as confident, obviously, with hands catching because the conditions, and that might have been Chicago, right? Was that Chicago and the Jets?
No. I don't know if that was the game where it
Tampa,
rained.
New England was raining in the beginning.
Yeah, and then there was even the game. Was the Commanders? Was that game raining? It doesn't matter. The weather has sucked everywhere because it's been cold and wet.
Yes.
But I wonder if that's ever like a mindset with the quarterback too. Like they're going to have to start catching with their body more because it's raining.
You absolutely want to try to put it on their body because a lot of times that's the one time that it's acceptable to try to catch it against your body because the ball will just go through your hands in certain type of conditions when it's slippery, when it's wet. And a lot of those guys will take off those gloves.
And that's what happened here.
Right, because the gloves, they're meant to be in warm weather or at least not that type of condition because otherwise they get super slick. So they might keep it on for a second and then they'll see him drop a ball. Then they'll take them off and it'll be like, well, we told you not to wear gloves, but they're not used to doing it because they usually play with gloves all the time. But that was a big thing. And then also just throws over the middle. You wanted to keep it underneath their face mask, especially for backs and tight ends, because a lot of times those guys have bigger pads. So you run the risk of when you throw it high, even a little bit above their head, that ball is going to go through their head and they can't get their hands up to get it. And that's when tips happen and interceptions. So we constantly talked about that, especially bad weather situations.
Would there ever be a time where if you let a receiver a little too much or a little too high, they would come back and you would apologize? Like, shouldn't have done that?
No, I say you should have caught that ball. Like, what the hell are we doing? Like, that was in the realm. Like, if you get your hands on it, that's on you. But let's be honest. And then when you go to the press conference and you're like, yeah, the ball was high and it got tipped an interception. Yeah, that was on me. I got to do a better job. No, I would always try. I always played the card with my guys of try to be as fair as possible. I would get on them about depth of their route, coming out of their route on certain stuff, and I'd try to get on them on that and hold them accountable. But when I messed up and I missed a throw, I was the first one to say, hey, that's on me. I'll get you a better ball, because they respect that, right? If you take ownership in your failures, and because we're all going to make mistakes, especially physical mistakes. Mental mistakes were the things that I couldn't handle because we know better, and that messes with the rhythm of the pass play and where you're supposed to be, the timing, everything else. But when you make a physical mistake, say you slip coming out of a route, look, that's going to happen. Or if I'm going to miss a throw every now and then, or just throw an interception because I didn't see the defender, and I'll take full responsibility for that.
What was it to you as a quarterback that you would get most irritated at? Like a little thing a receiver wouldn't do right, but it was like the thing that bothered you the most?
There's two things. If we had a conversion on a route, so a lot of times you talk about on the outside, sometimes you have a hitch that may convert versus roll coverage. So you're not going to still run that hitch because it's tight man coverage, and we don't want to run. That's a versus off coverage. But sometimes these guys wouldn't be paying attention, or a wide receiver wouldn't pay attention. All of a sudden you get a bail technique. Well, you're still running that hitch, and I'm thinking you're going to run the hitch because I see it, and all of a sudden you are still running the go route. So conversion routes were one thing for me. And then always depth of target, because we would just over and over meticulously go through the depth of a route. And a lot of times it's those high-low situations. When I say that, I mean, you've got the slot defender going up to 5 yards and he's sitting down, but behind him, we're running an in cut, and it's got to be 16 yards. Because if it's not, there's not enough separation between that backer. That backer can literally cover two people because there's not enough room to throw it over them. So you have to get that depth in order for me to throw it over the backer or throw it into a window. And if you're short, then immediately the entire route concept goes awry.
What about if you're trying to draw the defense off sides? Did you ever try that without an actual offensive play called and someone still jump?
Oh, it happens a lot. I mean, we would sometimes not even give a play in the helmet, and we'd have a live like word or something like that. Now it's for real. And all we were trying to do was go through a double cadence, because a lot of times teams will go through wide 80, set hut, and then they know the second one's live. But we'd go through two full cadences to get them to jump. And a lot of times it would be very effective. And then I'd go the live color or whatever it was, and we knew the play, but nobody was supposed to jump. And constantly, whether it was double cadence or whether it was that situation, and I wouldn't say constantly, but you would often have somebody jump off sides. And I'm like, I didn't even give you a play. Like, where are you running? Like, what are you shooting out to block right now? Because I have yet to give you the play at the line of scrimmage, because a lot of times we'd hold the play. I wouldn't even give them a play in the headset. I'd say, hey, wait for me. I mean, in the huddle, I'd say, wait for me to get through the two cadences, and then I will give you what the play is at the line of scrimmage, because you have all the different signals and stuff. And every now and then guys would jump and I'd be like, I just don't understand. It's kind of like the Vikings game. They were at home the other day. I think they had eight false start penalties at home. That's absurd. And some of that might be people getting used to JJ McCarthy and his cadence, but to have 8 at home is completely, I don't even know what to say. It's a disaster.
Even 8 on the road seems
On the
like
road
way too
is a
many.
lot,
Yeah.
but to have it at home because cadence is supposed to be a weapon and a factor for the offense. And when you have 8 at home, that is just ridiculous.
I felt like Justin Jefferson wanted to kill him.
Yes, kill everybody.
It was not a good week for JJ McCarthy.
No, it was not.
9. It was not a good week for 9. That's the character he gets into.
9.
Let's go back and forth. I want you to go first because, right before we started taping this show, we learned that Daboll was fired.
Right.
So I have you talk about that. I know you know him. Like, what do you know?
What do I know? Well, I know that he was fired like the rest of us do at this point, and I think that it's a result-oriented business. I get it, but when he inherited that team in 2022, I mean, they had won 14 games in the previous 3 seasons, and he comes in and they go to the playoffs. I think they were 9-7-1 or something like that first year. They won a playoff game, but then I think the second round of that playoffs is when they got beat down by the Eagles, and then the losing just kind of continued, and we're never able to get on. I think some of it was Daniel Jones, and at the same time, him not being healthy the entire tenure. And then when you go into this season, there was higher expectations, but it's still there was a quarterback controversy. And when you saw Jackson Dart go in the game, I think that you saw progress from this offense. But then again, you lose Malik Neighbors, your number 1 wide receiver. You lose Scattaboo, who was obviously a guy that came in and was an impact player. And I think it's also the way in which they lost those games. But I don't put it all on Daboll because at the end of the day, in most of those games, they were up 2 scores at some point in the game. And defensively, they couldn't get the stop and win. And unfortunately for him, it was just too much losing because right now, what do they sit? 2-8. 2-8, and they're ready to make a change. And I think the next hire, though, is going to be a very important hire because of the development of Jackson Dart.
Yeah, I feel like that we saw enough growth in Dart. And again, losing Malik Neighbors. Scattaboo coming, making an impact, and then again, that flamed quick. It was awesome for a second, and then he got hurt. But I felt like that enough earned him at least another year.
Right. And that's what I felt that's what they were trending toward. And I think some of it, too, might have been the fact that Jackson Dart got hurt. And, everybody's talking about the fact, well, they ran him too much. They put him in harm's way. But their most successful plays this last weekend was the design QB runs. And so he's doing everything in his power to put this team in a position to win and score points. And they took advantage of Jackson Dart's athleticism and ability to run. And unfortunately, he took the wrong hit at the wrong time, and it resulted in a concussion, took him out of the game, and really changed the momentum of that game. But I don't put that on Daboll because at any given point, any player can get hurt, and we've seen it.
Do you feel like it was premature to fire him? Would you have given him another year?
I think that you would have to play this season out. I would have let him play this season out, to be honest with you, and see where you could take this thing by the end of the year, because I do think the offense looked completely different with Jackson Dart on the field, even minus those injuries to key players on the offensive side. But, I mean, with ownership there, and the other part is the GM didn't get fired. Right? The GM doesn't get fired. He gets to stay. And so it's just an interesting dynamic that they're going to keep him, and because he's the one that hired Daboll. Normally, that goes hand in hand. You're getting rid of both those guys. You're going to start a whole new regime change, basically the GM, head coach, and start over. So it'll be interesting to see what they do there.
I looked up the odds to see who the next head coach would be for the Giants. The leader right now is Mike McCarthy. And I think McCarthy brings you stability.
Yep.
Not a super high ceiling. I think I would say a 3/4 ceiling. I think you can win. He won with the Cowboys.
Right.
He obviously won with the Packers.
Yes.
He's one of the names being mentioned for the Titans job because you just got to have some sort of stability. But what's tough is to have a stable head coach, but the instability of the organization.
Right. And that there is instability, but I'd say this, when you look at the defensive side of the ball, that's the part that is a little bit frustrating for me when you look at the Giants, because they have, 3 first-rounders on that defensive line between Burns, Thibodeau, and Abdul Carter from this year. And they've got dudes all over that defense, but they're not getting it done on that side of the ball, because I think that if they stood up and made a few stops on any part of these games, their record would be major difference in terms of wins versus losses. And that might have saved Daboll's job. So But in terms of Mike McCarthy, I like the fact that he's offensive minded. I like the fact that he's won every place that he's been, and he does bring some stability, and he's got respect of most people that are in the league.
I feel like you could be the most stable coach, but if you're in an unstable environment, there's only so much good you can do. There's a reason the Giants haven't won in 100 years. There's a reason the Jets haven't won in 100 years. There's a reason the Raiders haven't won in 100 years. And it's not the coach.
Right.
Because I think Daboll's a good coach. I think he'll go somewhere and win.
Right.
He may go be OC for a couple years somewhere else, but I don't think this hurts him as a coach to be fired from the Giants. If anything, I think it gives him a shot to go be successful somewhere else, somewhere where the organization has a bit more stability.
Right, and I don't think that the Giants organization is a place they can go out and get a young coach, a first-time head coach, because of the nature of that media market. And if you don't have success right away, they're going to eat you alive. And you have to be so mentally tough to be able to handle that. At the same time, like you said, instability within the organization itself and the lack of winning consistently, that's a tough organization to go to if you're a first-time head coach.
Clint Kubiak, second.
Yep.
Spags, third.
Spags, I love Spags. And he was with the Giants. So that is a guy that I think could immediately come in, has credibility, has already been with the organization, won a Super Bowl with the Giants against the team that I was on. So, I mean, I love that hire.
There's two more on the list in the top 10. Robert Saleh, which, by the way, if I'm Saleh, I do not want to go back to New York.
I don't want to go back to New York.
For any reason.
I hate everybody in the media there, right?
Yeah.
He's like, dude, you guys killed me.
And also, like, both of those New York teams, there's a reason they don't win because the owners are too meddly.
Right.
We should know who the owners are unless you're a diehard fan.
Diehard. And they're in the mix every time. And because they make headlines for the wrong reasons.
Yes. They wanted to fire Daboll like before they even came back. Did you guys see that? And they talked him out of it on the plane, like from Denver maybe. They played Denver the week before?
Yeah, Denver was a few weeks ago.
Yeah, whenever that game was. They wanted to fire him after that game on the plane before they even came back, and they talked the owner out of it. And so...
Who did? Hey, let's give him one more week, guys. Come on. Let's not fire him just yet.
I think it was
land.
Denver. If they...
Philly, maybe?
Nah, I don't know, dude.
Okay. They did play at Denver, but that was like 4 weeks ago.
Then that's when they wanted to fire him the first time.
They blew that big game.
Yeah, that's when they wanted to fire him. Lane Kiffin also makes the list. But Lane's up for every job. In HR, every college coach,
every college coach, anybody that needs a coach or anything like that.
Yeah.
They want Lane Kiffin. And I understand the connection too with Jackson Dart. He just had him in college and was his coach and had a lot of success. So I get that, but I don't think Lane's wants any part of that.
I don't either. Joe Burrow returns to practice. Saw the video.
Yes.
It was so lack of sensation. I thought it was a joke.
Yeah, look at Joe. He's standing on the field.
Well, he walks through and he just like slowly walks through with his head down. I was surprised they even posted on social media because there was so nothing about it.
They're just building excitement.
It was just him walking like into the facility with his helmet in his hand with his head down. So the team opened him up, the 21-day window to return from IR. The question is, can the Bengals get back in it? Now, they're 3-6. They're third in the AFC North. He hopes to return on Thanksgiving against the Ravens, which could be a big game. The Ravens are by far the favorite to win that division.
Right now, isn't that crazy?
Yeah. I mean, they were the favorite. The last week that Lamar didn't play, they were still the favorite because he was coming back the next week.
Right.
Like they've been the favorite in that division the whole time, even though the Steelers have been ahead of them. The Bengals are playing the Steelers, the Patriots, the Ravens, and that Ravens game will be the game that possibly he comes back. So I think if they win one of the two, there's a good shot he comes back, right?
Yes, I think if he can play, I do believe he does come back this season.
But if it's over, would you even rush him back like Jaden Daniels? I wouldn't bring him back
If he's 100, if he's 100% and he can run around and be himself, then I'd say yes. You're the franchise quarterback. You've worked your way back in the lineup. 100% get out there and play. But I mean, it's going to be tough because the Ravens are one game back from the Steelers, and they've got the Browns, the Jets, and the Bengals coming up. I mean, those are 3 winnable games, and they could easily be in first place at that point. And I don't think there's any looking back as long as they're healthy.
So let's say, I'm just going to throw this out. Let's say they beat the Steelers, but they lose to the Patriots. That puts them at 4-7 playing the Ravens. So Joe Burrow's back at 4-7. Let's just say they win because he's back. They're 5-7. They're playing the Bills. They'll probably lose that. They're 5-8. They're playing the Ravens again. Let's give them another win. 6-8. The Dolphins, they'll win that. 7-8. The Cardinals, they'll win that. 8-8. Browns, 9-8. It's like last year when they had to win every game.
Yeah.
So there is a shot that they make the playoffs if the Joe Flacco Bengals can beat the Steelers.
Which he's already proven he can do.
Yeah, they have to go to Pittsburgh this time, though.
Oh, yeah. But, I mean, after watching the
Steelers aren't good. They're not good.
After watching the Steelers against the Chargers this week, I mean, I was like, man, this doesn't look good.
I mean, are we thinking the Bengals can do it? Are we thinking the Bengals can hop back in this thing?
Come on, let's go.
But last year was fun. They did not hop back in. They didn't. They did win, but it wasn't enough. And I think they went 9-8 last year. I'm going from memory. I think they ended up going 9-8 and winning all those games at the end, but they did not get in the playoffs. But Joe Burrow, got to stay healthy. Is that right?
9-8.
Yeah.
9-8.
All right, what do you got there? Second topic for us.
I mean, I watched this Lions game last week, and I'll tell you, Dan Campbell calling plays, I'm into it because what did he say that they have to do? They have to get Gibbs involved more. They did. Jameson Williams got him involved more, and the offense just looked like they were on a roll, completely in sync. And I know that they were going up against the Commanders, whose defenses had the struggles and this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, that offense and how it operated looked like the offense of old. So I'm pretty stoked about Campbell coming back in, taking over play calling responsibility, because I think it's going to make them better down the line.
I'm looking at the odds to win the Super Bowl. The Lions are plus 750 in third place. So right now, if you're betting, the Lions are the third favorite.
To win the Super Bowl?
Yep.
Okay.
Who do you think number one is right now?
To win the Super Bowl?
Mm-hmm. The betting favorite right now.
I'm going to go with the LA Rams.
Nice selection. They are at number 2.
They're at number 2, Seattle Seahawks.
And number 5. So what's crazy, and I'll walk you back. First of all, both of you guys' team, the Patriots, 10th. No respect.
The Patriots are 10th?
I love it.
I love it, dude. Just
keep it going.
Yeah.
Feel that fire, baby.
You go on the road and you beat the Bucks on the road. I mean, that was a huge win for that team, and the legitimacy and also the narrative around that team. Okay, keep going.
So, or we can say 5th in the AFC, whatever you want to do, but they're 10th right now.
Okay.
I do feel like, as a non-biased person, that seems to be a little low. I think they should be up a bit. At 9, the Packers. I got to tell you something. You're going to have to reconvince me that the Packers are good.
Yes, because right now, they're third in the NFC North?
East. Yeah.
No,
I'm thinking
North.
No, I'm thinking of the Eagles because I was thinking of that game against the Eagles.
I was like,
yes,
wait,
no, you're right.
I am confused.
No.
now.
I was thinking of the Eagles and that terrible game they played against each other.
Yeah, I think that they dropped to third with that loss last night.
What a terrible game.
That was terrible.
And I'm only watching on my app because I have YouTube TV, so I can't even watch it because they've taken all the channels off.
Yeah.
And you think it was boring to watch the actual players play? Imagine watching just like the cartoon characters. It was the most.
It's
boring.
like the Nickelodeon
Yes.
game.
It was worse than that. I was like, I'm trying to watch my fantasy players because I had Jalen Hurts and he did like 12 points. And like, luckily he got me the point that actually won my game. But it was a terrible game to watch.
Well, unless you're defensive minded. I mean, unless all you like to watch is defense dominate, because both those defenses were incredible and the offenses were not going out there and being productive in any sense of the word. Now, they got a few plays here and there, but that's all it took in this game because it was low scoring, defensive dominated, and I mean, neither one of these offenses came out with any firepower whatsoever.
Yeah, the Packers got to reconvince me.
Yeah.
Because I think I was big on the Packers, but I think maybe I was just listening to people that I feel like are smarter than me.
Right.
And now after watching them,
I'm
not quite there.
I think the
Kraft being hurt sucks as well.
I think the misperception too. Kraft was hurt, and so was their Matthews.
Matthew Golden.
Matthew Golden was also hurt. So I get that, but I think the perception was after watching them dominate the Lions first game of the year, getting Parsons, all the firepower that they have, that this was a team that was Super Bowl bound. And then as the season has continued to go along, you start to realize, well, they've got some issues, particularly on the offensive side of the ball. And Jordan Love, I think he's a really good quarterback, but I don't think he's at the upper echelon of the quarterback position right now.
The Ravens at 8, they're getting a lot of credit for what they're probably going to do.
Right.
More so than what they have done. Again, they have a top 3 quarterback, and he has missed most of the season.
For sure.
The Bills at 7. Hey, not a good look. I think I'm a little concerned about the Bills.
They laid an egg. Now, I know they're the top rushing team in the NFL, James Cook, but my concern with that team is the wide receiver and the weapons that they have on the outside, because at some point they're going to load the box and those guys are going to have to win one-on-one opportunities. And when you watch that Dolphins game, there was nobody open. And Josh Allen can't do it all by himself.
He's had to do it by himself and won
And
before,
he
so we
can.
expect
He
it.
can. Yeah, and you expect it, but
Yeah.
a lot of red flags popped up in that game.
Colts at 6.
Mm-hmm.
I was glad to see them win again.
Yep.
I'm in. I want small market teams to matter.
Yes.
And I like,
This isn't like baseball, though.
no, because
We got a salary cap that everybody's got to spend.
I hear you. And you know what? Let's pour one out.
Let's pour one out.
Yeah, their owner died.
Yeah. Okay. We'll go small market team.
Small market team with a dead owner. I'm all for it. And then also, like, I'm rooting for Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
I feel like he's been through the
I am
ringer.
rooting for Daniel Jones.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Daniel Jones. The Seahawks at 5. The Eagles at 4.
Eagles at 4?
the-
At 4?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The Lions at 3. The Rams at 2. And the number 1 team with the best odds, meaning you're going to make the least amount of money, the favorite,
Chiefs.
the Chiefs, and they're not even in.
Small market team.
They're not even in the playoffs right now. If the season ended right now, they would not make the playoffs.
Yeah, it's amazing. But they're still, I mean.
They have a tough schedule, though, too.
They do have a really
Will you
tough
pull
schedule.
up their schedule, Kevin? Yeah. So right now, here's the AFC playoff picture. If it were to end today, Colts at 1, they get the bye.
Well, the Chiefs also been holding plays back, remember?
That's true.
Yeah. So
According to Nick Wright.
According to Nick Wright.
The Broncos at 2, I think that's a fraudulent 2.
The Broncos are at 2?
Yeah, because they're 8-2.
I know they're 8-2, but have you watched their games?
That's what I say. It's a fraudulent 2.
At some point
But you
in
are
the fourth quarter,
what your record says you are.
you are. I mean, to get into playoffs, I feel like, but to win those games consistently in the playoffs against the best teams, that's tough sledding for me to believe that they're 2.
Give me your Kansas City Chiefs over there.
Okay, we got the Broncos
Next.
at the Broncos this week.
Okay.
Then the Colts
Yep.
at Dallas
3.
versus Houston.
They're peeling off 4 in a row right now. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, then the Chargers.
They owe them 1. They're peeling
Yeah.
off 5 in a row.
And this is the for sure win at Tennessee.
6 in a row.
Then the Broncos again.
7 in a row.
Let's end the season at Vegas.
Okay. The Chiefs may not
Okay,
lose.
so maybe they're through the hardest part of their schedule. Maybe they're
Chiefs,
through.
yeah. They may not lose again this year.
Okay.
Rolling.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
look, the Chargers game, that's a tough one. They've already lost to the Chargers once.
Yes, they did.
They owe them 1. The Patriots will be the 3. The Steelers will be the 4. Chargers 5. Buffalo 6. And the Jaguars will be 7. The Jaguars did beat the Chiefs when they played that one time earlier this year.
Yes, they did. But they've had some injuries, especially on that offensive line. They lost both of their tackles, which is going to make and Herbert gets hit a lot.
It's crazy to me the Chiefs are the betting favorite, and right now they wouldn't even make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I've never seen anything like that before.
I think they just went through the schedule just like we did and said, "Yep, yep, yep, got it."
What else you got? You have another one over there?
Gronk signs a one day contract. I guess
Yeah.
it would be to retire with the Patriots. And I guess when you look at the tight end position, all time greats, I think he is the best of all time.
I think he's definitely the hardest player to guard, the hardest player to line up against. I don't think he's statistically the best.
He's not. I mean, you've got guys like Gates
Yep.
and Tony Gonzalez, Jason Witten, guys like that have been around. Travis Kelce's going to be up there in terms of statistics. But when you look at the definition of what a tight end is,
I agree.
between blocking, running routes, big body, nobody can cover you because you're just a freak of nature.
Unguardable.
He was unguardable, and you could put him outside on DB. It's a mismatch. You bring him inside, put him on a linebacker or safety, same thing. But then the other part is they would run behind him. Like he was a dominant blocker. I don't think you've seen the likes of somebody that can do it both in the pass game and on the line of scrimmage in the run game in terms of blocking like Gronk did. I just think he's just up there as the best tight end to ever play.
I think he's the best to ever play as well, but I don't think he'll be the greatest to most people because statistically he doesn't have that. Although he did win Super Bowls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, multiples.
And it's just hard talking to you two because you played for the Patriots and you're a diehard Patriots fan.
Yeah, there's a little bit of bias.
Yeah, but I didn't play with Gronk. But I mean,
But you're a Patriot.
yeah, I guess I could consider myself a Patriot.
Well, I consider you a Patriot.
I was a well. I know that's the only season you ever saw me play because you couldn't care about my career anywhere else.
I think I probably watched you play in Kansas City a little bit.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah.
a little bit.
What if it turns out I was a super fan and this was my whole plan for years
Yeah.
to get you to come and do a show? You
Actually,
had no idea.
I got a Patriot tattoo on my shoulder.
You do have a Patriot tattoo?
No, not at all.
Oh, okay. Let me do this. Brian Kelly is now suing LSU over an
Oh.
attempt to short circuit his buyout. This has become the greatest soap opera,
It's so good.
because LSU fires him. And we're like, dang, that's crazy. Now pay him out his $50 million. And so we hear they're in negotiation. And I'm going, why would he negotiate
That's what I want to know.
to give them some of his buyout back? And maybe he wants a lot of it up front and it wasn't in there. Maybe it's mitigate. I don't know the details of his contract. But that being said, they kept coming back going, no, he wants his full buyout.
Yeah.
And so now the last thing that I saw was LSU has now said, we haven't fired him yet.
Exactly. I saw that.
They're like, we haven't fired him yet, and we're going to fire him for cause. And so
The cause of losing, like that's just part of the job. Like,
it's bizarre. You feel like they might have fired him a little too early.
Yeah.
They didn't have all their ducks in a row. They emotionally said he's fired.
yes.
And now they're going, oh, crap. He won't take less money. We had planned for him to negotiate and take less than the $56 million.
Because I also heard it was like a 30-day payout. It wasn't like overtime, which is a hefty sum.
90%
90% in
was
30
to be
days.
paid
right?
out. Yeah. And so LSU is on the hook for $54 million. And so now, if I'm Brian Kelly, which by the way, I think Brian Kelly's the most unlikable guy in college football. That
Yes.
being said, I'm now rooting for him.
Yeah. He's going to win this. Like, what do you
He's-
mean you didn't fire me? You had a press conference.
Yes,
the governor came on.
Yes.
We fired the AD. So is the AD still on? Are you on the hook for that money, or he's not fired either? Are you going to bring him back to
wild.
coach the team? What are you talking about?
According to the lawsuit obtained by ESPN, Kelly claims LSU called him earlier on Monday and said he'd never been formally terminated and that the school was instead looking into firing him for cause. But cause would mean he did something, not lose games. Like he did
Yes.
something like touched someone or made love to a dead body or something.
Yes, that would be the extreme part.
Yes.
And I'd say that LSU would win in that
Yes,
case.
if they can
But
prove that.
It would have to be kind of sexual assault. You know,
Yes.
you assaulted a player. Anything inappropriate that they deem that inappropriate, yes, they'd have a leg to stand on. But right now,
Pay the man.
we haven't heard anything or nothing's come out about cause.
I can't believe you made me root for Brian Kelly. And I kind of hate you for it, LSU, because
Yeah.
I think he's the worst. But pay the man or I'm rooting for him.
I heard he's in contract negotiations with Arkansas.
You did not. And I tweeted, and I'm very careful about not creating a barrier between me and anybody, specifically that hasn't worked for Arkansas. And I am always like, I never say I don't want this coach or I want this coach, and never do that. Because who knows who's going to have the job.
Right.
And I want to have a decent relationship. And so I did right. I'm there for whoever except Brian Kelly.
Really?
That's how much I dislike Brian Kelly.
Yes.
But now I'm rooting for him.
Is this the first time you've ever done that? Speaks a lot.
Probably. I was pretty vocal that I don't think Sam Pittman's the guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I got some backlash from that early on.
Yeah.
But it wasn't because I disliked Sam Pittman at all.
Right.
I like Sam.
You just didn't think he was the right fit.
I did not. And I'm a fan before I'm anything else. Before I'm a booster, before I'm the guy that's got shows, I'm a fan first and foremost. And I tweet like a fan.
Yeah. How would you do in the AD role there?
I would do awesome. We'd have winners.
You'd
because
have
I would
winners.
raise
See?
money.
Yes, that's what it is. It's resources.
Yes.
Ben, you've got a lot of them at Arkansas.
I would create relationships and have. I think I'd do pretty good.
Yeah, I think you would be a relationship builder for sure.
I think I'd be a money getter.
Yeah. Just give me your money.
I think I would.
It's for the pigs.
I also know as somebody with an ego how to actually like massage people's egos.
Yeah, you
like
do.
find out what makes them feel good and make them feel good so they give you money that makes you feel good.
This all makes sense. I'm feeling good listening
Yes,
to
we're
you
all
feeling
feeling good
good
right now.
Like honestly, I'm feeling good about
Thank you.
this.
Thank you.
Where do I donate?
Yeah,
Exactly.
seriously. Go fund me, Bobby Bones in Arkansas.
It's time,
AD.
it's time for the weekend preview presented by DraftKings. From first touchdown score to anytime touchdown props or the thrill of live in-game betting, every snap is loaded with opportunity. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to go through the three biggest games in the NFL for Week 11. Bucks at Bills. Hey, this is a good one because both those teams need to win.
This is a really good.
They're in Buffalo.
In Buffalo. Weather's probably going to be dog shit.
And that probably affects Tampa more so than a lot of these other teams because Tampa's pretty warm.
It's very warm. And it's just like when a cold weather team goes down to Tampa, there's an impact of that, especially going into the heat from cold weather. And then there's an impact of Tampa going up to the cold weather. This one's tough for me because I really do like the Buccaneers in their defense and also obviously the way Baker Mayfield's playing. He battled last week against the Patriots. I'm going to go with the Buccaneers on the road against the Bills.
I think the Bills need it a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
because we expect them to be not just winning the AFC East. We expect them to be that number one team, number two team battling for that spot. And I think they have more on the line. If they lose again, I think it hurts them worse than if the Bucs lose 2 in a row, just divisionally speaking.
Does that put them 3 back against the Patriots in the division?
The Patriots win, yeah.
Yeah, wow.
So I'm going with the Bills. I just think it means, and it matters more to them.
Okay.
And then maybe like, there's like a bald dude with like a fake mustache over there coaching, like his analyst. It's Brian Daboll. He's back over. Got a fake mustache on.
Fake mustache.
Yeah.
He's from Buffalo.
Well, I mean, I know him from being the offensive coordinator with Josh Allen.
But he's actually grew up
Really?
in Buffalo. Yeah. So I think he's probably still got a home there.
Seahawks at Rams.
Ooh,
That's
this
a good
is
one.
so good.
I feel like the Seahawks, and I think part of it is where they're located. I feel like they're not getting the respect that they deserve because they've been killing folks.
Right.
I think when you're in Seattle or you're in Portland, it's just hard to get the respect because you're just so far behind and you're not LA. Like LA, San Francisco, bigger markets, but especially LA. Like things are based in LA, so they get the love naturally because a lot of these analysts are there.
Yes.
I feel like Seattle doesn't get the love because nobody's there.
I would agree with you because they're playing as good as football as anybody in the league. I would even argue that they could potentially be the best team in football right now. Just the way that the offense is operating. Sam Darnold's been amazing. Defense has been outstanding. So, I mean, these two teams, this one's a hard pick for me because they both have a great identity on offense. They know who they are. They've got superstar players on the outside. The quarterbacks are playing at a really high level, and the defenses are young and getting after people. I'm still going to have to go with the Rams at home. Matt Stafford, just his big game experience and everything. Not to say that Sam Darnold doesn't have that, but Stafford's a proven entity, and at the end of the day, I think he's playing at a really, really high level, MVP type.
Stafford's awesome. I was surprised to see that he just now is 500 all time.
Really?
If you pull up his record, because I think, and I don't know
he played for Detroit for
yes, that's why
15 years.
That's why.
Yeah, and they were always like that 8-8, like right around there, and had some down years, had a few up years, but
he was like something and 1. What is it?
115, and 1.
wow,
Hall of Famer for sure.
For sure.
Super Bowl champion. Really one of the best 50 quarterbacks I think of all time. Just because I haven't thought about it, maybe he's the best 25, but one of the best 50 of all time, and is only 500 because he played on such a dog crap Detroit team.
That's what he had to endure for all those years, as talented as he is, then lifted up that organization to be better than what they could have. Can you imagine if he didn't go there?
Oh, yeah. Chiefs at Broncos.
I'm going Chiefs.
Yeah. Chiefs won't. I don't think the Chiefs lose for like 3 years. That's my prediction. We don't see a loss till like 2030.
Yeah, I do think that the Broncos defense is really good. So I will say that they're going to put up a fight. But for them to continue to win games consistently in the fourth quarter in the manner in which they have, I think it's hard-pressed to think that they can maintain that.
I think they're the Denver Fraudcos. I just made that up.
Boom.
Thank
Gee,
you.
You nailed that.
But again, you are what your record says you are.
And they're 8-2.
They're 8-2.
It's pretty impressive.
I agree. That was your weekend preview presented by DraftKings. New customers bet just $5. And if your bet wins, you'll get $300 in bonus bets instantly. Your team hitting pay dirt pays out to you. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the code TOSAY. That's TOSAY for new customers. Turn $5 into $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. All right, we're going to get over and talk with former NFL tight end Vernon Davis. Vernon was drafted 6th overall in 2006 by the 49ers. He went on to play 14 years in the NFL. He ran a sub 4.40. He has a new podcast we're going to talk about called The Next Roll, and you can follow him on Instagram at Vernon Davis 85. Here he is, Vernon Davis. All right, let's bring on Vernon Davis, who hosts a new podcast called The Next Roll, and all these episodes dive into the journey of guests and their next role in life. So Vernon, before we start talking about ball, like what is your next role? Like what are you finding fulfillment in right now?
My next role is film and television. Just doing things that bring me joy. And I think that's the biggest thing that gives me motivation when I wake up every morning.
Vern, how you doing, buddy? It's good to see you again. Last time I think we saw each other was at Media Boot Camp. Remember that when we were together on that panel? But I want to.
I remember that. That was a while ago.
Yeah, about the new podcast. What's something that you've already learned doing this only a month that maybe you didn't learn or didn't know before starting this endeavor?
Well, I didn't know that it took a great deal of effort on my end. I thought, I would have people, doing all the work for me, pretty much. But it goes hand in hand with everything else in life. If you want something, if you're passionate about it, then you put your own time and energy into it.
Are you enjoying it? Are you finding you're taking to it pretty good?
Yeah, I enjoy it. It's a building. It's a building process. Just like all the things that I did when I was playing football. You started. I related to like starting from the beginning. When I first got to San Francisco, we were losing, couldn't find a win at all, and then all of a sudden, boom.
So on the show and the premise of the show, you've got ex-athletes, you got comedians, you got people from all different walks of life. Was that something that you really wanted to have inside this new podcast that you started?
Yeah, I wanted to infuse my life with this podcast. Like from playing football, I have athletes. Basketball was my first love. Also, there's a lot of things that I'm doing now in the basketball space. I invested in a team in Australia called the National Basketball League NBL team, which is the Brisbane Bullets. So I wanted to cultivate that, even with the production side of, friends and people that I've met in the acting world and television world. So it just all comes together. It's just my life infused in one.
Let's talk about basketball in high school. How good a ball player were you in high school?
Oh man, I was okay. The one of the guys that I played against in high school in my area was Kevin Durant. I remember playing against him. That was tough because they also had Patrick Ewing Jr. They had a really good team, so it was a challenge for us. But I think I did really well.
What'd you average?
Probably 8 to 10 points a game.
But nobody could cover you because of your speed. Let's be honest.
We had a guy on our team named Trey Kelly who was scoring all the points every night. So he was a little selfish. He wouldn't pass the ball much. So we had to let him do his thing.
So you played basketball. You played football. Did you also do track in high school? And then what ultimately led you to Maryland?
I did. I did track and field. I did shot put. I did high jump, and I felt like those things really helped mold me as a football player. And the thing that led me to Maryland was just staying close to home, staying close to my grandparents, my family, and allowing them the opportunity to be able to see me play on Saturdays.
So you sound like a guy then that would want kids to play a bunch of sports, not just specialize in a single sport.
Yeah, but unfortunately it doesn't work that way. I tried to get my son to run track and play basketball, but he refused. He came home one day after track practice, and I was like, "Are you supposed to be at track practice?" He was like, "Yeah, Dad, but I just didn't go there." So okay, I get it. You don't want to do it, and I'm excited for him because he's going to Maryland to play football as a linebacker in 2026. So excited for Gianni.
Yeah, you're one of those rare tight ends. Obviously, when you're coming out, your explosive athleticism and all that was recognized at the combine when you ran a 4.38, which is unheard of at the tight end position. But you're drafted 6th overall at the age of 22. Talk about that process and what that was like for you and the expectation that went along getting drafted to the 49ers 6th pick overall as a tight end.
Yeah, that process for me was very important. I knew what the combine could do for a young guy coming into the NFL. And I don't think a lot of guys took that serious. It was a way for me to increase my stock in the draft. And I did. I feel like all the hard work and dedication I put in from high school to college and even training for the combine really stood out. So my approach going to the combine was like, hey, I want to be the best in everything that I compete in. And I remember that night before going to bed, I just kept listening to, it was a song by Eminem, "You only get one shot, do not miss your chance, the opportunities come once in a lifetime." That song I would listen to all the time because it was, music motivates you. It gives you the inspiration that you need. And I got up that morning and it was game time for me. It was game time. I knew this was the moment that was going to change my life forever. And that was my approach.
When you were at Maryland, you played H-back, you played tight end, you moved around a bit, but you could have also been a wide receiver. I mean, you ran so fast. You were just large. You could have been a large wide receiver, right, instead of a really fast tight end. Why did you decide to play in rather than split out?
Well, when I arrived at Maryland, I did start in wide receiver, and then Coach Franklin, unfortunately, my heart goes out to him because he's a hell of a coach there at Penn State. But Coach Franklin he was a wide receiver coach there when I arrived. And Coach Friedgen told me, he was watching me one day in practice. He said, you know what? We're going to move you to H-back. And then I said, why, Coach? He said, because I feel like you're going to get bigger. I said, okay. And then from there, H-back, lead blocking on linebackers for the running back at times and flexed out, catching balls in the flats and things of that nature. And then my junior year, I was a true tight end. And he was right. I got up to about 253 pounds.
You know, when you first got to the 49ers, obviously you were an organization that was still building to get to eventually where you got to, but you obviously went through adversity. And we remember the 2008, at least I do, I'm sure you do, with Mike Singletary and the little altercation that you guys had. But that was probably a turning point for you and a growing moment. You obviously eventually become the captain, but talk about that moment and what that did for you in your career and how that helped change you as a player and your mindset.
When you're coming into the National Football League, you look up to certain individuals, you try to find that identity, and sometimes the person that you're looking up to isn't the right person. So you have to really make sure you put yourself around the right role model. And I was searching for that. I had a me mentality, and it shouldn't have been that way. I only had it. It was only that way because I had a chip on my shoulder. I wanted to be the best at what I was doing, but I didn't know how to go about it. Coach Singletary was there. He was always watching me. He was always behind me. And I remember the first day I arrived, and he came up to me. He said, you have great qualities, and I feel like you could be the best. And he told me that from day one. And I guess he knew exactly what to do to get my attention. The day he called me out, sent me to the locker room, I remember going home, watching it on TV. I got a text from him, said, come see me in the morning. And when I arrived in his office that morning, we had a heart-to-heart. He started to cry. I was crying. And from there, I started to see the big picture of what they brought me in here to be, and the big picture of just my journey and what I wanted for myself. In order to do that, I had to be selfless instead of selfish and do just be a great locker room guy. All the time we hear the term great locker room guy. That's very important. That dictates whether the guy's playing 3 years or 15 years. So if you're a great locker room guy, that transfers to the field, and that's what I became.
I'd love to hear about both quarterbacks in San Francisco, both Alex Smith and Colin Kaepernick, and what it was like playing with both of those guys, like both of their strengths.
Well, they're totally different. Of course, Alex was my favorite guy because when I came in, he was there. That was the guy they brought me. In for just to cultivate a relationship from a receiver quarterback standpoint. And he was amazing, man. We saw everything he went through with the injury in Washington, D.C. with his leg. That's who Alex Smith is. He's resilient. He's relentless. And he had that from the beginning of time, even from the time when he suffered from the concussion and was benched to Colin Kaepernick, for Colin Kaepernick to step in when Harbaugh was there. His ability, he has great arm strength. He had great football awareness, great IQ for the game. He was a football player. Unfortunately, he didn't have that in the beginning because we went from offensive coordinator to offensive coordinator. It was chaotic, and he didn't have a chance to grow and evolve as a quarterback. But he showed who he was when he went to Kansas City. Now, Colin Kaepernick, on the other hand, he's just totally different style of playing quarterback. The way he threw the ball, the way his ability to run, he was just totally different. But unfortunately for Colin Kaepernick, that didn't last long for him. But yeah, they were both great humans, fan favorites in the locker room. But Alex Smith was, when I look at quarterbacks, I would say Alex Smith is the guy that I really, really enjoy playing with.
Talk about Coach Harbaugh coming in 2011. Obviously, there had to be a cultural shift at that point because from 2011 to 2014, you guys go to 3 straight NFC championship games, go make a Super Bowl appearance as well. But talk about the impact he had on that organization at that time.
Coach Harbaugh coming in, there was a culture shift. The guys started, we had some of the same guys, Amar Brooks, Alden Smith, Justin Smith, Frank Gore, all the guys. We had that core group of guys. What happened was well, of course, the game plan, both offensively, defensively, new system all around. And what he expected out of us was totally different. Like he held us. You talking about accountability? He's the guy to enforce that. He's going to enforce accountability. He's going to make sure that the guys understand that, hey, I want you, but I don't need you. You can easily be replaced. And once guys understood that, I mean, it was like a totally different dynamic. He just has this way about him that, you know, I mean, he's the general, man. He knows how to get guys to play the game of football and play at a high level.
So then you weren't surprised to see him, I'm guessing, win a national championship at Michigan and then turn the Chargers around.
No, I wasn't surprised to see him win a national championship. I wasn't surprised at all because I know that Harbaugh he has it. You know, a lot of guys, you either have it in you or you don't. He's made for football. You know, it might take him some time. Yeah, he'll get you there, and you may not win it, but he's going to come back and do something miraculous at some point in time. He's one of those type of guys that you don't want to let him go because you know what his pedigree is, from his brother to his father to who he is. He just has it.
Talk to us about that divisional game against the Saints. It's referred to as catch number 3 in the 49ers folklore of their organization. But what do you remember from that game and that moment when you caught that touchdown pass? Because it was probably one of the best divisional games of all time in NFL history.
Oh, yeah, that game, that was our first time going to the playoffs, believe it or not. First time there, super excited. We wanted it. I felt bad for guys like Frank Gore who been there. Frank arrived the year before me in 2005, and he was extremely upset over the years and just watching him. So when we finally made it to the playoffs, it was just, we had something in us. It was something about that team that we were desperate for that win. And I knew how important it was for the team, the organization, the fans, and just the city of San Francisco. So that was the first time I felt like I was unstoppable. Like I was in the zone. Like it was nothing that could stop me from producing for my team. Right? I remember going to Harbaugh saying, "Hey, Harbaugh, just throw me the ball. You can throw me the ball. I got it. Trust me." And they just kept coming to me. Alex, he called the play. It was a play that we installed it was the Vernon Post. We ran that play one time. I didn't think we were going to call it, but Greg Roman called that play. We had a couple seconds left on the clock, and it was the play that brought that game home. I remember it was like it was yesterday.
It's the 20th anniversary of Dancing with the Stars. You did the show. What are your memories from that show?
Me wanting to go home, me wanting to quit.
Why is that?
That was the hardest thing I ever had to do in my life. I'm not gonna lie. I guess because it was super foreign to me. I didn't know how to dance. I'm not a dancing guy. I don't have a dancing background. So walking into a studio having to develop a dance routine in 2 days is extremely tough, extremely difficult. It was a challenge for me. I'm not gonna lie, but I didn't. I kept going. I kept fighting, and eventually it became fun. It became fun once I learned the different things you need to have when it comes to dancing, especially ballroom dancing.
I know you have your Super Bowl trophy, but I did win that show.
Big flex. He won the show.
Tell me this is not the ultimate flex. I don't bring it out often. Thank you. Thank you. This is the one athletic thing that I probably have a trophy that you don't in the history of the world. With a
banged up shoulder too, right?
Oh yeah, I tore my shoulder. I had to go to the Titans. I didn't play pro ball, obviously, but I had to go to the Titans facility in Nashville because I tore my shoulder. I didn't know how to dance. I'd never danced in my life. And so I tore my shoulder on the first dance because I fell at the end of the dance because I was celebrating because I never actually finished the dance in practice.
Yeah, that's exactly.
He's laughing. You can't hear him, but he's laughing. I didn't go to the 20th anniversary because I freaking tore my ankle. So I'm in a cast right now. And before you came on, I was like, I think Vernon did the show. Yep. And yeah, it was super hard. So yeah, anyway, I just wanted to show off my trophy. That's all.
Yeah, he got that trophy. And then in our profession, you got the ultimate trophy. You're traded to Denver in 2015 with Peyton Manning. Talk about that experience, what that was like, and actually ultimately getting to achieve what all of us ultimately wanted to achieve in this sport.
Yeah, so when that happened, so I think we had just finished playing the St. Louis Rams at the time. And I remember being home, getting to the house that night, waking up that morning with a text from Trent Balk, our general manager, saying, "Hey, Vernon, come see me." So I'm already like, he never sends me, he never sent me a text like that. If it was, it would be a phone call rather than a text. So I knew something was kind of fishy. I go in, I see him, and he says, "Sit down, son." I sit down and I was like, "What's this about? You guys probably gonna trade me, huh?" He's like, "Yeah." So he started pulling up different teams, and he's like, "Denver, highly interested in bringing you in." So I was just like, "Oh, okay." I'm processing everything, and of course, I'm shedding tears because I'm with this organization. I've been with this organization since 2006. Now it's 2015. I'm like, all right. So that happened. I get on the plane and go to Denver, and I get a text from Peyton said, "Come see me when you get here. I'll be in the gym." And the rest is just history. Ended up winning the Super Bowl 50 in Denver. Von Miller, DeMarcus Wood, where we just had an amazing team. That team reminded me of the team that we had when I went to Super Bowl 47 with the San Francisco 49ers. It was just the same kind of energy, the same feel. Everybody was so positive. It was like the confidence was like mile high. The confidence was like just super out there, and you could just feel it. You could feel the energy. It was just a great thing we had going on. Unfortunately, the thing for me was that I played with two different quarterbacks. I played with Brock Osweiler and I played with Peyton Manning. So learning both guys on the fly within a month or two was just like super difficult for me. I'm not gonna lie, it was a challenge because it was just a totally different process and playbook with Peyton Manning, and it was awesome to experience that. Even though I didn't feel as comfortable as I wanted to, but I wish I had the opportunity to start with those guys in the beginning, from training camp all the way through. It would have been it would have been even more special, I think. But look, I don't take anything for granted. I enjoyed the moment, the journey, the process, and that's a moment that I'll remember for the rest of my life.
Final question: how did you know when it was time to hang them up?
I knew it was time to hang up the cleats when I had my last concussion. My grandfather just died, and the way I was feeling, I was like, mentally, I'm not in it. And this game to me is probably 90% mental, 10% is just the physicality of the game, in my opinion, because the things that you have to do and create in your mind when you're out there in that field is man, if you don't have that, then you can't play this game. And to me, I wanted to be able to be free mentally when playing this game of football, because I had to have that. All my career, I used my mind to go out there and produce at the highest level. So I knew it was time. When that feeling came over me, I knew it was time to let the game go.
All right, the podcast is called The Next Role. You can listen wherever you get your podcast. You can watch on YouTube. Vernon Davis. Vernon, we really appreciate the time, man. Good luck with the podcast. Good luck with the acting. Good luck just finding your next role. You have the fulfillment in your life now, so we appreciate that.
I appreciate it, guys. Thanks for having me.
All right.
Thanks, Vernon.
Thanks, Vernon.
All the best, Brian.
All right, good to see y'all.
You too.
All right, thank you.
Okay, before we go, who's a coach in the NFL that you look at now and you think, I didn't get the chance to play for with them, but I would love to have played for with them?
Probably Kevin O'Connell.
But you played with him.
I know that doesn't count.
He was your backup quarterback.
Yeah, that's what would make it so great. Got a great relationship. No, I mean, he's a QB whisperer. I think that. Have you watched the videos of him after the game?
Yes, in the locker room.
Yeah, I never would have guessed that when I first started playing with him. the way that he's matured and grown up in the profession, but also his messaging and everything else. I think he's just a high character individual, and it would be a fun experience to play for him. Plus, they do win a lot of games. I know they're going through a little bit of a phase right here where they're not winning a lot of games, but that would be a guy I would like to play for.
I'd like to see what he says with no cameras, no microphones, to his closest of confidants about J.J. McCarthy.
I'll call him.
Because I think it's really bad.
I don't think it's what they expected. And I think that they're now looking in the mirror going, Sam Darnold's out there in Seattle.
And Daniel Jones.
They had
them both.
And both of those guys are kicking ass.
Now, they weren't going to be able to offer them long-term contracts. Or they weren't going to.
No, but what'd Sam get, a 3-year deal?
Yeah.
3-year deal, and you still had J.J. McCarthy on a rookie deal. So potentially you could still make that work.
Very hindsight of you, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just looking at it. I wouldn't have let Sam Darnold walk outside that building after the season that he had. And I know that people are like, well, in the biggest moments against the Rams late in the year and this, that. Look, if you look at Jared Goff and what he did in that playoff game last year against the Commanders, he threw 4 interceptions, and everybody's not shitting all over his season. So, I mean, I know that it was because Sam was a first-year starter for the Minnesota Vikings, was with Kevin O'Connell, and they say, well, it's Kevin O'Connell. No, it's the player out there making plays, doing it consistently, and I would have never broke that relationship up.
My agent has called me 3 times during this podcast.
Oh. Is that good or bad?
It's one of the two.
What are we doing, guys? What's next?
I don't
Get rid of Castle. We're going up. You're hosting American Idol.
It's funny that you went bad in your head. In my head,
I'm saying it's good for you.
But you went bad for you.
You're like, I'm moving to LA, Cass. Sorry.
No. Definitely not doing that.
Something's happening. Let's call.
Something's happening. No, I would
Come
never.
on,
I
call
would
him.
never.
Hey, we're on air right now, but tell me what's going on.
He first called at like 20 minutes into the podcast, and I just made a quick video and sent it to show him we were in the middle of recording. He called again at 50 minutes into it, and then he just called again and said, call me after.
Ooh, there's something juicy on the other end of this call.
I feel like it ain't good.
Do you get excited? Do you like kind of?
No, everything about my life is I associate with, hey, call me after, to be call me after because I have bad news.
Yeah, that's probably the route that I usually go. If you've called me 3 times, something happened.
Yeah. So I feel like it's probably not the best call coming.
But like, how bad could it be? Did you do anything when you're all hooped up on Mountain Dew for your foot surgery that we just need to know about, or you don't really remember?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I hope not.
I don't think so.
You're like Wolf of Wall Street when he takes the Quaaludes and driving down the street and no, I totally got home fine, honey. Here's your ice cream.
So I guess I'll call him. That's it. Thank you very much. Thanks again to Vernon Davis for coming on. That's Matt Castle. That's Kickoff Kevin. That's Brandon Ray. I'm Bobby Bones, and I got to call my agent, but we've had lots to say. Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye.